Commander Jake Harrison walked slowly across the metal floor of his ship. His boots made soft clicking sounds in the quiet space. The UES Liberty floated in the dark between stars, waiting for news that would change everything. 3 days ago, a message had come from the mining station near Jupiter. The miners had found something strange in the rocks, something that was not made by human hands. Jake looked at the computer screen in front of him. The pictures showed a large black object buried deep in the asteroid. It was smooth and covered with strange marks that looked like writing. The thing was as big as a city block and clearly very old. Dr. Lisa Martinez had been working day and night to understand what they had found. She was the best scientist they had for studying alien things. Her team had used special tools to look inside the object without breaking it open. "Sir, we have another message from Dr. Martinez," said Lieutenant Bobby Chen. He was young and excited about everything they were discovering. Jake pressed a button to hear the message. Lisa's tired voice filled the room. "Commander, you need to see this. We broke the code. The object is some kind of computer that stores information, and what we found inside will shock you." Jake felt his heart beat faster. After all these years of looking for alien life, they had finally found proof. But something in Lisa's voice told him this was not good news. Captain Ryan Cole joined Jake at the main screen. Ryan was Jake's best friend and had been with him through many dangerous missions. His face was serious as they watched the data come through. The alien computer held thousands of files, pictures, videos, and documents in dozens of different alien languages. But the computer had a translation program that slowly turned the alien words into English. What they read made both men go quiet. The galaxy was full of intelligent life. 47 different alien races lived among the stars. They all knew about each other and talked through something called the Harmony Web. It was like the internet, but it connected entire worlds across space. For over 1,000 years, these aliens had been watching Earth. They had seen humans fight wars, build weapons, and kill each other over land, money, and ideas. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Every alien race in the galaxy had grown up on peaceful worlds. They had never needed to fight for food or land. Their planets had everything they needed, so they learned to share and work together. War was something they could not understand, but humans were different. Earth was a hard world where life had to fight to survive. Animals ate other animals. Weather could kill entire groups of people. Resources were limited, so humans learned to fight for what they needed. The aliens had a special name for humans in their files: Warborn children. They were afraid of humans and had put up warning signs around the solar system that said, "Do not go near, dangerous species." Jake read through page after page of alien observations about human history. They had watched every major war on Earth. World War I and II had scared them so much that some alien races had moved their colonies farther away from Earth. The aliens thought humans were like wild animals that could not be trusted. They saw human soldiers as killing machines and human weapons as tools of pure destruction. What humans saw as normal competition for resources, the aliens saw as insane violence. "Look at this section," Ryan said, pointing to a new file on the screen. "They have been studying our military tactics." Jake read the alien analysis of human warfare. The aliens were amazed by human strategy and teamwork in battle. They could not believe how humans could plan complex attacks and work together to fight enemies. To them, it was like watching demons dance. But the most shocking discovery was still to come. The aliens had never developed real weapons or military forces. They had tools for building and traveling through space, but nothing designed to hurt other living things. Their idea of conflict was a debate where both sides tried to find a compromise. The alien ships had no armor and no weapons. Their soldiers were more like police officers who helped people follow rules. They had never fought a real war because they had never needed to. Dr. Martinez sent another message. "Commander, there is more. The aliens have been planning something for the past 50 years. They know that humans are starting to travel to other star systems. They are scared that we will bring our violence to the peaceful galaxy." Jake felt a cold feeling in his stomach. If the aliens saw humans as dangerous animals, what would they do to protect themselves? The answer came in the next file. The aliens had been building a plan called protective intervention. If humans ever left the solar system and started to spread across the galaxy, the alien races would work together to stop them. The file showed pictures of alien ships and weapons. Even though the aliens were peaceful, they had been forced to create military forces just to deal with the human threat. They had spent decades preparing for the day when they would have to fight the Warborn children of Earth. Ryan looked at Jake with worried eyes. "Sir, if they think we are so dangerous, why haven't they attacked us already?" Jake found the answer in another file. The aliens were afraid to come too close to Earth. They thought that even contact with humans might make their own people violent. They believed that war was like a disease that could spread from one race to another. But now humans were building colonies on Mars and sending ships to other stars. The aliens could not ignore the human threat anymore. Soon they would have to choose between hiding from humans forever or fighting to protect their peaceful way of life. Jake closed the files and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, dozens of alien races were preparing for war with humanity. They saw humans as monsters who would destroy the peace of the galaxy. The truth was that humans were about to meet their neighbors, and those neighbors were terrified of them. Admiral Kate Morrison sat in her office on the moon base. The walls were made of thick metal and the windows showed the dark space outside. She had been waiting for this moment her whole life, but not like this. 3 weeks had passed since Commander Harrison found the alien computer. Now the aliens were talking back. The message had arrived that morning through radio signals from deep space. It was not random noise or natural sounds from stars. This was clearly made by intelligent beings who wanted to talk to humans. Lieutenant Colonel Amy Foster knocked on the door and walked in. She was carrying a tablet computer with the translated message. Amy was the best language expert in the military and had spent years learning how to understand alien communication. "Admiral, you need to read this," Amy said. Her hands were shaking, a little as she gave Kate the tablet. Kate looked at the screen. The message was addressed to the Warborn children of Sol. The aliens knew exactly who they were talking to. The message came from something called the Galactic Harmony Council. It spoke for 47 different alien races that lived among the stars. Their leader was called Ambassador Prime Veltar, and he was from a race called the Zenthan Collective. Kate read the message out loud. "Greetings to the violent offspring of the third planet. We have watched your species spread beyond your birth world. We acknowledge your expansion into the void, but we cannot allow your aggression to threaten the peace we have built over millennia." Amy sat down in the chair across from Kate's desk. "It gets worse, Admiral. Keep reading." The message continued with what the aliens called a generous offer. They would allow humans to continue living on Earth and Mars, but all human weapons had to be destroyed. All military ships had to be taken apart. All soldiers had to become farmers or builders instead. The aliens gave humans 6 months to agree to their terms. If humans refused, the Galactic Harmony Council would send fleets to force them to comply. They called this protective intervention to save the galaxy from human violence. Kate felt angry as she read. The aliens were treating humans like dangerous animals that needed to be caged. They thought they could just tell humans what to do and humans would obey. "What do you think about their offer?" Kate asked Amy. Amy laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "Admiral, I have been studying their language patterns and choice of words. These aliens are not trying to negotiate with us. They are giving us orders because they think we are too primitive to understand complex ideas." Dr. Ben Carter walked into the office. He was a thin man with gray hair who had spent his career studying military strategy. He was carrying a thick folder full of papers and pictures. "Ladies, I have been looking at the alien technology we have collected over the years," Ben said as he put the folder on Kate's desk. "The stuff that crashed on Earth or was left behind when UFOs visited our planet." Kate opened the folder and saw photographs of strange metal pieces and electronic devices. Some of the pictures were very old, going back to the 1940s and 1950s. Others were recent, taken just a few years ago. "What did you find?" Kate asked. Ben pulled out a chart that showed the different types of alien technology. "Admiral, these Aliens have amazing tools for traveling through space and talking across long distances. Their computers are more advanced than anything we have. But here is the interesting part. They have almost no weapons. Amy leaned forward to look at the chart. What do you mean? I mean their ships have no armor, no guns, no missiles, no shields designed to stop attacks, Ben explained. They have barriers that can push away space rocks and dust, but nothing that could stop a real weapon fired by an enemy. Kate felt a strange feeling in her stomach. The aliens were afraid of humans, but humans might actually be stronger than the aliens in a fight. Ben continued. Look at this analysis of their ship designs. They build their vessels for speed and comfort, not for battle. Their hulls are thin because they never expected to be shot at. Their engines are powerful but not protected because no one has ever tried to damage them. Amy stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the Earth hanging in space like a blue and white ball. Admiral, I think these aliens have never fought a real war. They talk about peace and harmony, but that might be because they never had to fight for survival. Kate thought about what Amy was saying. On Earth, every animal had to fight to stay alive. Lions fought other lions. Birds fought for the best trees to build nests. Even plants competed for sunlight and water. But what if some planets were different? What if some worlds had so much food and space that the creatures living there never had to compete? They would grow up thinking that sharing and cooperation were the only ways to live. That would explain why they are so afraid of us, Kate said. To them, humans are like aliens from a nightmare world where everyone fights all the time. Ben nodded. Exactly. And now they want to stop us before we bring our fighting ways to their peaceful galaxy. Amy turned back from the window. Admiral, there is something else. I have been analyzing their communication style. They keep using words that suggest they think we are children who need to be taught how to behave. Kate felt her anger growing. The aliens saw humans as dangerous babies who needed to be controlled by wise adults. What are your recommendations? Kate asked her team. Ben spoke first. Military-wise, I think we might have advantages they do not expect. They have better technology, but we have better weapons and tactics. Amy added, communication-wise, they are not really trying to negotiate. They have already decided what they want us to do. This is not diplomacy. It is a demand for surrender. Kate made her decision. Then we do not surrender. Get me a secure line to the president and the other world leaders. It is time for humanity to show these aliens what Warborn children can really do. Outside the window, Earth continued to spin, in space, unaware that its children were about to fight for the right to reach the stars. General Alex Thompson stood in the command center on Mars. The Red Planet had become the center of humanity's biggest military project ever. Outside the thick glass windows, he could see construction crews working day and night to build new facilities. It had been 2 months since the aliens gave their ultimatum. Instead of making humans scared, the alien threat had done something amazing. For the first time in history, every country on Earth was working together. The Chinese were sharing their rocket technology. The Americans were giving away their weapon designs. The Russians were teaching everyone how to build better armor. Even small countries were sending their best scientists and engineers to help. Dr. Susan Clark walked into the command center carrying a metal box. She was the head of the reverse engineering team, the group of scientists trying to understand alien technology. Her clothes were dirty from working in the lab, but her eyes were bright with excitement. General, you have to see this, Susan said, as she put the box on the table. Alex opened the box and saw a piece of shiny metal about the size of his hand. It was smooth and seemed to glow with its own light. Next to it was a small device that looked like a flashlight. What am I looking at? Alex asked. This is a piece of hull material from an alien ship that crashed in Nevada in 1962, Susan explained. We have been trying to understand how it works for 60 years. Last week we finally figured it out. Susan picked up the device that looked like a flashlight. This generates the same type of energy that alien ships use for power. When we apply it to their hull material, watch what happens. She pointed the device at the metal piece and pressed a button. The metal began to change shape, flowing like water but staying solid. It formed itself into a perfect sphere, then flattened into a thin sheet. then twisted into a complex knot. Alex stared at the display. The metal can change shape by itself? Not just change shape, Susan said with a big smile. It can become stronger or weaker, heavier or lighter, even change its temperature. The aliens use this material for everything. Their ships, their buildings, their tools. Alex began to understand why Susan was so excited. And now we can make our own? Better than that, Susan replied. The aliens designed this material for peaceful purposes. They never thought about using it for weapons or armor. But we have been thinking about nothing else for 2 months. She pressed another button on the device. The metal piece suddenly became dark and hard-looking. We can make armor that is 10 times stronger than anything we had before. Tank shells will bounce off like rubber balls. Alex picked up the metal piece. It felt incredibly heavy now, much more than it should for its size. How much of this can we make? We have 3 factories working around the clock, Susan said. By the time the alien fleet arrives, we will have enough to armor every ship and equip every soldier. Captain Tim Rogers joined them at the table. He was the best pilot in the Space Force and had been testing the new hybrid fighters that combined human weapons with alien technology. General, I just finished another test flight, Tim said. These new ships are incredible. We took alien engines that were designed to move cargo ships peacefully through space, and we put them on fighters built for combat. Alex looked at Tim's flight suit. It was covered with patches and burn marks from testing experimental aircraft. How do they perform? Sir, these ships can do things that break the laws of physics, Tim said with excitement in his voice. They can stop instantly, turn in directions that should be impossible, and accelerate so fast that normal humans would be crushed. Susan nodded. The aliens built their engines to be smooth and gentle because they never wanted to hurt their passengers. But when you remove the safety systems and push them to maximum power, they become the fastest, most maneuverable fighters ever built, Tim finished. The alien ships coming to attack us are big and slow because they were designed for comfort, not speed. Our new fighters will fly circles around them. Colonel Janet Stone entered the command center. She was in charge of training the new Space Marines, soldiers who would fight in the vacuum of space if the aliens tried to board human ships. General, the 1st Battalion is ready for inspection, Janet said. These men and women have been training for 2 months using every fighting technique humans have ever developed. Alex followed Janet to the training facility. Inside, he saw soldiers practicing combat in zero gravity. They moved through the air like deadly dancers, using walls and ceilings to change direction and attack from unexpected angles. The aliens have never seen anything like this, Janet explained as they watched. Their idea of conflict resolution is sitting around a table and talking until everyone agrees. They have no concept of military tactics, flanking maneuvers, or coordinated attacks. One group of Marines was practicing what they called boarding procedures. They used special tools to cut through metal walls, then rushed inside to capture enemy positions before the defenders could react. How do you know these tactics will work against aliens? Alex asked. Janet smiled. Because we have been studying their behavior patterns from the old UFO encounters. When their ships crashed or got in trouble, they never fought back. They either ran away or tried to communicate. They have no warrior instincts at all. Alex watched the Marines practice and felt a strange mix of pride and sadness. Humanity had become incredibly good at warfare because they had needed to survive on a dangerous planet. The aliens had never learned to fight because their worlds were safe and peaceful. Back in the command center, Alex received a message from Admiral Morrison on the moon base. The alien fleet had been detected at the edge of the solar system. They would arrive at Earth in exactly 4 months. How many ships are coming? Alex asked. The message showed pictures taken by long-range telescopes. The alien fleet was huge. Over 300 vessels of different sizes and shapes. Some were as big as cities. Others were small and fast-looking. But Alex was not worried. The human fleet waiting for them would only have about 50 ships. However, those 50 ships were built by a species that had been preparing for war since the first human picked up a rock to defend himself. Dr. Susan Clark had given them armor and weapons that could use alien technology for destructive purposes the aliens never imagined. Captain Tim Rogers had trained pilots who could fly with a skill and aggression that peaceful aliens could not match. Colonel Janet Stone had created soldiers who understood combat in ways that no alien mind could grasp. The aliens were coming to protect their peaceful galaxy from the Warborn children of Earth. What they did not know was that those children had spent 4 months learning how to use alien gifts to become better at the one thing humans had always excelled at: winning fights. Admiral Sam Foster stood on the bridge of the UES Defender, watching the alien fleet approach through the darkness of space. The enemy ships looked like floating cities made of crystal and light. They moved in perfect formation, beautiful and graceful as they came closer to Earth. Behind Sam, 50 human warships waited in battle formation. They were smaller than the alien vessels, but they had been built by people who understood war. Every human ship carried weapons designed to kill, and armor designed to protect warriors in combat. Captain Laura Bell commanded the destroyer UES Thunder, positioned at the front of the human fleet. She had been chosen to speak for humanity when the aliens arrived. Her ship was fast and deadly, equipped with the best hybrid technology that human engineers had created. The alien fleet stopped just outside the orbit of the moon. Their ships arranged themselves in a pattern that looked like a flower blooming in space. It was beautiful to watch, but Sam noticed that their formation had no defensive structure. The aliens had positioned their ships for display, not for battle. A communication signal came from the largest alien vessel. The voice that spoke was calm and musical, like someone reading poetry. "Greetings, children of the violent world. I am Ambassador Prime Veltar of the Zenthan Collective. We have come to bring peace to your species." Captain Laura opened a channel to respond. Her voice was steady and strong. "This is Captain Laura Bell of the United Earth Space Force. You are in human territory without permission. State your intentions." There was a pause, as if the aliens were surprised by her directness. "Captain Bell, we are here to implement the protective intervention we described in our previous communications. Your species must accept our guidance to prevent the spread of violence throughout the galaxy." Laura looked at the tactical display showing the positions of all the ships. The alien formation was impressive to look at, but it left their flanks completely exposed. Any military academy student would see the weaknesses immediately. "Ambassador, Veltar, humanity rejects your ultimatum," Laura said clearly. "We will not surrender our freedom to species that do not understand us." The alien response came quickly, and for the first time there was confusion in Veltar's voice. "Captain, you do not seem to understand. We represent 47 civilized species with technology far beyond your primitive capabilities. Resistance is not logical." Sam Foster activated the fleet communication system so all human ships could hear. "All vessels prepare for combat operations. Remember your training and trust your equipment. These aliens have never faced warriors before." The alien ambassador continued talking, apparently unaware that the humans were preparing to fight. "We will begin the disarmament process immediately. Please power down your weapons and prepare to receive our boarding parties for inspection." Laura's response was simple and direct. "No." The single word seemed to shock the aliens into silence. Sam could imagine their confusion. In their peaceful galaxy, when a superior force made demands, inferior species always obeyed. They had never encountered anyone who simply refused to surrender. "Captain Bell, perhaps you did not understand," Veltar said slowly, as if talking to a child. "We have 300 ships. You have only 50. Your defeat is mathematically certain." Laura smiled, though the aliens could not see her face. "Ambassador, you made a mistake when you came to the home of apex predators and expected us to roll over. That was your first mistake." The battle began when the aliens finally realized that humans would not surrender without a fight. The alien ships moved forward slowly, still maintaining their beautiful formation. They fired energy beams that were designed to disable human ships without causing damage. But the human ships did not stay still to be shot at. Captain Tim Rogers led the first squadron of fighters in a flanking attack that came from above and below the alien formation. The aliens had no defenses against this three-dimensional assault, because they had never imagined that anyone would attack them from multiple directions at once. The hybrid fighters moved like angry wasps around the massive alien ships. Their weapons, built from human military knowledge and powered by alien technology, tore through hulls that were never designed to resist attack. Colonel Janet Stone's Space Marines used boarding pods to break into alien ships. The aliens inside were not soldiers. They were scientists, diplomats, and engineers who had never held weapons in their lives. When armored human warriors came, crashing through their walls, the aliens simply surrendered or ran away. Admiral Sam Foster watched the tactical display as the battle unfolded. The aliens had more ships and better technology, but they fought like people who had read about combat in books but never experienced it. Their movements were predictable, their responses were slow, and they had no backup plans when their first strategy failed. Captain Laura Bell's destroyer led a direct assault on the alien command ship. The massive vessel tried to retreat, but human ships were faster and more maneuverable. The alien shields, designed to deflect space debris, collapsed, under concentrated fire from weapons built to destroy enemy targets. The entire battle lasted 18 minutes. When it was over, most of the alien fleet was disabled or destroyed. The few surviving ships were trying to escape, broadcasting surrender messages in dozens of alien languages. Ambassador Veltar's final communication was filled with shock and disbelief. "How is this possible? We had superior numbers and technology. Your victory makes no logical sense." Colonel Pete Wilson, who had been listening to the alien communications, opened a channel that would broadcast across the entire Harmony web to all alien civilizations in the galaxy. "This is Colonel Pete Wilson, speaking for all of humanity," he said in a clear, strong voice. "We are the children of war, forged in conflict and born to fight. We did not ask to be alone in our violence, but we have learned to thrive in it." He continued, "The galaxy has two choices now: learn to coexist with predators, or discover why Earth's children were kept in quarantine for so long. We did not start this fight, but we finished it." The aftermath of the battle changed everything. News of humanity's victory spread through the Harmony web faster than light. Peaceful alien civilizations that had never known fear suddenly understood what it meant to face an enemy that could not be reasoned with or intimidated. Some alien races retreated deeper into space, trying to hide from the Warborn children of Earth. Others began desperate programs to develop military capabilities they had never needed before. Their scientists studied human tactics and tried to understand how peaceful beings could learn to fight. But the wisest alien species did something different. They sent new ambassadors to Earth with a simple message: "Teach us to defend ourselves, and we will share the stars with you." Humanity had finally found their place in the galaxy, not as conquerors who would destroy the peace, but as guardians who could protect it. The universe was full of wonders and knowledge, but it also had dangers that peaceful species could not face alone. The war-born children of Earth had grown up to become the protectors their galactic neighbors never knew they needed.